Hey, how's it going? This is Brian from B's Music Shop, and I am here in the Acorn Amplifiers booth with Bill. Bill and I have been talking for a while. He makes some really cool stuff, super fun. I wanna try it. I wanna try it. You brought me cigarettes. I don't smoke anymore. Kids don't smoke. But you ready? You ready? Then there's no nicotine.
Not in that
Look
one.
at that. Look at that. These are that
Someone
one.
Someone donated a real cigarette.
Someone put a real cigarette in there. Those smokers, they always got to have the final say. All right, man. What do you want to tell us about this stuff? Let's go around. I want to try everything. I want to see all the wacky stuff.
Absolutely. Let's start with the Solidate. This was our biggest hit so far. This is what got us our best exposure. This is a full circuit recreation of the Peavey Decade, which got popularity from Josh Homme. He gave an interview and explained that he used this in the studio sometimes as like a secret weapon. We were actually able to fit the entire circuit of the Peavey Decade into this pedal enclosure. So it actually has a speaker jack here on the side. You can plug.
So it's the amp.
It's the full 10-watt solid-state amplifier. You can plug that right into a speaker cab, and that could be your amp rate.
We're hearing the clean right now.
You're hearing the clean of it right now. It also has a saturation channel, but it'll give you a lot of gain.
Is this good? In this one, no one's thrown up on it, so it's great.
And this is the preamp only version of this pedal. So no power amp in this guy, preamp and power amp with a speaker jack on this guy. The only addition is the toggle stick switch.
So that's...
So two channels, thick switch is essentially a tone bypass.
Nice.
So it's like almost like all the tone controls are rolled all the way up when the thick switch is up.
That's
and our third preamplifier here is the original circuit of the Sovtech Mig 50 tube midget with JFETs in place of preamp tubes.
Nice.
So you get a lot of gain when you roll the volume up. You get a really crunchy and saturated. Or if you want just a little bit more of a clean preamp sound, you can roll your volume back, bring up your master. It's got bass, treb, and mid. That is the original preamp circuit of, the first Softtech tube head.
That's super cool. I remember those. I feel like the pots were like the cheapest pots of all time. And you were like, they were cool amps. You're like, this is the cheapest JC800 for 50 watts. And like, I just remember being all geeked out when we first discovered them. So cool amp, sounds awesome.
Absolutely. Within the last 15, 20 years, these have really taken off. The Softtech Mig 50s have really taken off in like the stoner and doom metal community. But we used to do repairs as well for amplifiers, and that was one of the main things that people would bring it in for, is those cheap little plastic pots. Yeah. They always had to go.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. And then Josh Scott bought all of them. So he's like basically he's like Smog, but for MIGs. I think, is that right?
That's very great.
We're calling him out. We're calling him out.
He may have
a beef right now.
He may have the biggest Softtech collection, and we definitely sent him one when we got this in, and he was stoked on it as well. Next up, we have the repeater from Music Go Round. We actually built this pedal for Music Go Round, which, if you're not familiar, they are a secondhand music store that have multiple locations all around the country. They are kind of like the Play It Again Sports of music gear.
I think they are owned by Play It Again Sports, actually, aren't they?
That's very true. That is true. Yes, they are owned by the same company that owns Play It Again Sports and Plato's Closet. But last year was their 30th anniversary. They reached out to us to make a commemorative pedal for them. So we made a fun little digital delay, real quick and easy for them. And that's been a hit. That's in every Music Go Round around the country currently as their 30th anniversary commemorative pedal.
Then we've got the Dune, the Mind Killer. That's great.
Yes, next up is the Mind Killer, which is a double distortion pedal with Paul Atreides on the face. As soon as you plug it in, his eyes will light up blue. This is actually an active circuit board right on the face of the pedal. So if you can hit one side, and that's your high gain channel. You can voice them however you want, but I have this side voiced as like your high gain channel, and then I have this other side voiced as like a boost channel. So it's a super versatile single op amp distortion circuit ×2 in series. So hit one as your boost, hit the other as your gain, or both at the same time, and it just starts getting huge sounding. It has bass boost toggle switches and also clipper diode bypass toggle switches. So you can get a little bit of a cleaner sound, a little bit of a beefier sound. Super duper versatile pedal, essentially like 3 distortions in one. And just below him is our TMA1, which is a 4-stage fuzz meant to look like Hal from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay, that's it. I'm like, what is something there? I couldn't quite figure out what I was like. It's either like an old camera or there's some reference I'm not getting.
Right, yeah, we got that big giant fisheye lens on there to make it look like HAL 9000. But this is a 4-stage fuzz with the 2 middle positions have those toggle switches that allow you to select between germanium in the top, silicon in the bottom, or if you go in the middle position, you're actually bypassing that clipping section. So essentially you can make this into a 2-stage fuzz, a 3-stage fuzz, or a 4-stage fuzz, depending on how you have the toggle switches set. Very, very versatile, very textured fuzz pedal.
Yeah. It's got that Big Muff style like tone control in it where it's like it goes to either side of, I want to say usable, but I know that isn't the nicest way to say it, but it's like, you know, that's a Mike Matthews specialty. The knob goes to either end of where you would ever want it for some reason.
Exactly right.
But yeah, that does it. Yeah, it does it. It's so cool. But yeah, you find that nice like sizzle in there. Yeah, it's really cool.
Thanks.
That's great. And then you've got, this guy is like it has like a dinghy on it, right? It has like, it's like if you have a life raft, it has a life raft built in, right?
Exactly.
I remember that.
Yes, this was our very first pedal release back in 2020. This is called the Circuit Fuzz because on the face of it is another circuit board just like the Mind Killer, except it has a clippable PCB right on the face. So if you were to move this little rectangle here, you can actually build a separate little boost pedal out of that PCB. So it's a little pedal and a little project in one. And the circuit of the Circuit Fuzz started its life as a clone of the Jordan Boss Tone, but we really strongly started to modify it just so it could have better bass response, and it was a little bit less splatty. So how we did that was, instead of it being 2 germanium fuzzes like the original circuit, we turned it into a hybrid fuzz. So it's 1 silicon and 1 germanium, and a different capacitor in there for a little bit better bass response. But it has a cool mid-rangey thing it goes and does, and yeah, it just sounds a lot different than the original Boss Tone, so
yeah, no,
we kind of just made our own thing out of it.
Sick. Awesome, and then we have the ADHD, which I think you made for me.
The ADHD is maybe our craziest pedal. It's a self-oscillating fuzz. So when you turn that threshold up on the very top right, you'll get a constant drone that you can tune with the frequency knob. So while you're not playing, you'll hear the frequency jumping all around with my turning it, and then when you play, it kind of interacts with the oscillation in a very strange way and very fun. You can move this as kind of like a filter control to get a little bit of quackiness in this way, or a little bit more of like a video game 8-bit kind of tone in this direction. And then the balance is how it's a little bit tricky to turn, but yeah, when you turn it counterclockwise, you're kind of taming some of that octave and oscillation out, so it's a little bit less aggressive. And
this is more drone? Or
turning it clockwise is less droning, and turning it counterclockwise is full drone.
Okay, I can hear it now.
Yes. But yeah, there's also an expression pedal, so you can actually move the frequency around with your foot too if you have it plugged into an expression, and you can move the pitch around that way.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that one turned out pretty cool.
I feel like I'm doing science with this.
Yeah, you can get like laser sounds out of this thing. Turn it up a little bit more, and it'll just start quacking and squeaking, and laser beaming like crazy. Yeah, that one's wacky.
Dude, that's crazy.
Next one, I guess it kind of speaks for itself right on the face of it what it is. It's another effing clone. This is a true circuit recreation of the original Mythic Clone overdrive. Buffered and all. The only difference is the bass boost toggle switch on it. But sure,
same price. Same. It's still $4,000, but you know.
That's right. The only other
to the toggle switch.
Right. The only difference is the toggle switch and the price. You're right.
Okay.
But yeah, most people know what a clone sounds like, but. Tame it down a little bit, get a little bit less crunch. And just a nice overdrive.
That's cool.
Cool.
That sounds great.
And the last up is a prototype of a soon-to-be released in the next couple months. We're actually collaborating with Daniel Danger, who is a very talented graphic artist. He's also an avid pedal collector, and he has an affinity for the Ibanez standard fuzz because it can do a really fun octave up, and it can also do a really fun octave down when set in a certain way. So we put 2 of those in one pedal and voiced one to be a little bit more of a high octave on this side, voiced one to be a little bit more of a low octave on this side. So very crunchy, Velcro-y fuzz with some Octavia kind of hints to it. Both together, it just creates a really fun, aggressive fuzz. Daniel Danger is going to do his incredible graphic design on the face of this pedal.
Oh, I thought that was he's a minimalist. Like he's the world's best minimalist artist. Knobs only.
No, I wish. I mean, it does look great as is, but Daniel Danger is he does concert posters and a lot of other really impressive graphic design, and he's just going to create a beautiful image on there. And this was his brainchild, so he's going to have a deluxe version of his own as well.
That's super cool.
And right next to it, which isn't a functioning tone pedal, it's more of a novelty, is the Big Puff, which is a fun little pun. But yeah, give that 10 seconds, just like in a car.
It works?
It will pop out of there and light up your cigarette or stogie or whatever.
Or I can brand an enemy.
Exactly right. But that will light your cigarette. It's got a rechargeable drone battery in there. So it's wireless, and it's got a removable ashtray, so you can dump your ash when you're finished. We're actually thinking about making a second version as well that has the muff circuitry and the lighter, but this one's just a novelty lighter, fun little ashtray.
That's fun. I feel like 20 years ago when I used to play Moose Lodges, I could have used this.
That would have been helpful, yes.
And then you've got a bunch of like weird, like these are just, what are these? These are just like things you made. Are these pedals in the line as well, or are these just like one-offs or something?
These are limited edition, like kind of see-through fun pedals that we would do for Halloween. Every Halloween we come out with a limited edition pedal. This is the movie poster of They Live. Yeah. When you light it up,
Roddy
Piper calls one of the guys formaldehyde face.
The maniac loves you.
So we call this the formaldehyde face distortion pedal. And then, yeah, we have a couple of Dragon Ball Z pedals that light up in fun ways. And like a X-ray spec kind of nice pedal where you plug this one in and you'll see the lady's bones shining through. But these are all simple single op-amp distortion pedals, similar to our Mind Killer, just without the toggle switches.
Yeah, and then we got this one. And then you got this one, and then you do that. You guys are wacky.
This one, yeah, the Epstein we just debuted here at the NAMM Show. We don't even have like a circuit plan for it yet, but it is getting a lot of attention, so we're thinking we might have to put something fun in there.
Having fun, awesome, man. Well, hey, Bill, I super appreciate talking to you today. It's super. You guys know how to make fun stuff. So.
We do. We like to have fun. We like to inject some humor into our gear if we can, and I really appreciate you checking it all out, Brian.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Give me a look.